Dr. Lee here with Patty Miller.
I ended up having excruciating pain. I couldn't get it under control, and from that point, we called Dr. Lee's office. I don't even remember it. I thought I was having a stroke. We made a call into Dr. Lee's office, and thank God they got me in right away. Dr. Lee squeezed me in for surgery.
This went on for 50 episodes and I was frightened that I wouldn't have my wife back.
I woke up from surgery with no TN pain.
In retrospect, the surgery was the easy part.
It was the easy part.
Because the anesthesia puts you out,
yes,
and then you wake
it's
up
the only
and you're better.
surgery I've ever done that I woke up feeling better.
Wow.
Then much better. I
Yeah.
mean, you saved my life. You really did.
Dr. Lee here with Patty Miller, and she started with trigeminal neuralgia 4 years earlier, and I had actually met her before, but she was very nervous to undergo surgery. And but then it really crescendoed. It became very scary. So why don't we go ahead, tell your story.
Okay. I saw Dr. Lee about a year ago, and he gave us all the information to have an MVD. And at the time, I was in a little spot where I wasn't having as much pain. So I, of course, felt like I had it under control and I could wait. Trigeminal neuralgia pain resurfaced, and I tried to control it with meds and keeping my face covered, eating certain foods, using a straw, all kinds of things, and then acupuncture, upper cervical chiropractic, and sometimes it seemed like they were helping. I'd get these little bouts of relief for a few days, and it's a very tricky condition because it makes you think you're going to, get relief and be okay, and then it comes back with a vengeance. So it got to the point where I was on 3 different medications, and we were fortunate enough to get another appointment with Dr. Lee. Turns out I ended up having excruciating pain one morning, and fortunately my husband was there. I couldn't get it under control, and from that point, we called Dr. Lee's office. I don't even remember it. My husband was there with me, and I thought I was having a stroke. So we went to our local hospital, and anyway, from that point, they did all the testing, MRIs, and I didn't have a stroke, but they said it was amnesia from the excruciating pain. So we made a call into Dr. Lee's office, and thank God they got me in right away. Dr. Lee squeezed me in for surgery.
I'll take over. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what struck me about your story, I remember, was you're telling me that the pain was so severe that you couldn't even remember what had happened.
I could not remember. It was the weeks before that. It was that leading up to that. I could not eat without. I found a straw that I could get to a certain point in my mouth that I could get my meds down, but it was really hard. I was choking. But anyway, it came to the point where I just couldn't function. I couldn't remember anything. Fortunately, they did all the testing at our local hospital. We came down to Dr. Lee. He found a spot in the next week. He got me in. I couldn't wait for the surgery. I woke up from surgery with no TN pain. I could talk. I could eat. I could talk to my grandkids.
Pain is so individual. We can't feel your pain, but I remember when I saw you and I put it in my notes, like, need to schedule ASAP, because and very rarely, sometimes I've even brought people right into the hospital.
Yes.
And like if I have availability. Mm-hmm. So the other interesting thing is when you went to the emergency room, most people with stroke, they never have pain.
Oh.
But because you had that amnesia, That must be why they initiated a stroke evaluation, because stroke is a weird thing. There's never any pain with it, or only if they have pain, it's just some unusual thing later. But
Yeah, the local doctor said that's very unusual.
yeah.
So I mean, it just I didn't even realize I sent a message to your facility asking for help, and I only saw it a few days later, and I was like, I don't remember any of it.
Wow.
So
I think extreme pain, extreme emotion, like it's almost like it took over your entire brain.
yes, it
And
did.
you couldn't function. You
I
couldn't
couldn't.
even register your memories or lock them in.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Like in 30 seconds. When she asked me, she said, I don't remember, tell me exactly what happened from last night to the next day at noon when we were still in the hospital. And I'd explain it to her in detail. And less than a minute later, she would ask me the exact same question and did not remember that I had just told her. This went on for 50 episodes and I was frightened that I wouldn't have my wife back.
Wow. Well, I don't see a lot of this because I met you before surgery, and but now that we're having this chance to speak, you realize why people are so desperate for pain relief.
Yes. It's really, it's traumatic. It really is. And you try to push through it. I did everything to get through it without. I was afraid of surgery.
Yeah.
And now knowing, the relief I got, it's easy to say I would have done it earlier.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid of surgery, but.
In retrospect, the surgery was the easy part.
It was the easy part.
Because the anesthesia puts you out,
Yes,
and then you
and
wake
it's the
up
only
and you're better.
surgery I've ever done that I woke up feeling better.
Wow.
Then much better. I
Yeah.
mean, you saved my life. You really did.
So a little bit of pain here, but
Oh
but
nothing,
compared to
nothing like
Wow.
the TN pain. Nothing. So I'm almost off my meds, and yes, you've literally saved my life.
fantastic. I mean, this is. I'm glad we're taking this extra time for me to hear the pain and suffering that you were living through.
Yes.
Well, very good. I hope this never recurs because there's always that risk. But my goal is never to see you again, unfortunately, except in the Home Depot or something, or at JH Home Services. So, all right. Well, very good. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you.
All right.
I can't ever.
Yeah, let me give you a hug.
you.
Yep. All right.
Doctor.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.